Welcome to the SHT Podcast. This podcast is created by superhumans, for superhumans, and anyone else who wants to look, feel, and perform like a freaking badass. Your holistic health journey starts here. Rediscover how we...
Yeah!
Paul, sit your ass down.
All right, so whenever you're ready, we can start.
Okay, so...
What is the start noise?
Where are we starting?
Beep.
No, we just wanted to come in today and lay out a foundation and give our community...
Why a foundation today?
Well, because I really wanted to, and I think we really want to just set a precedence for this community and our people to just kind of say, hey, this is where we started, ground zero, these are our stories, this is, and we're real people helping you with real food and sleep and all this stuff we'll lay out in all of our foundations as well. But just we wanted to get a background so that we can grow together.
But why are we doing that in this one?
Because it's our bios, it's our intros, this is what we're getting
our
at. What?
Our first one.
Oh, it is our first video.
This is our first podcast.
Our first podcast.
Our first episode.
Yes, it is.
That's why we want to lay that out.
Yes, it is. This will be episode 1.
Yep. Or maybe episode 00.
Right.
I think is what they technically
base
call
layer.
this base layer.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So this is, welcome to the We Are the SHT podcast. That's what this is.
Yes.
And SHT stands for Superhuman Transformation.
Superhuman being one word.
Yes. Superhuman. Superhuman space transformation.
Yes.
And shame on anyone that thought that said shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, we all do.
I mean, we like it. We like that. We are the SHT. But really, Superhuman Transformation stands for a lot of things, but it really stands for our foundations and the educational system that we have behind it, but it also stands for our community. So when we say the SHT, it represents not just the stuff that we learn together and experience together and put into practice, but all the people that make up this amazing community that we have, which I'm in love with. You're in love. We're all in love
gosh.
with.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So
I
mean,
great.
I want to talk to the people. And I mean, it's a God-given ability that I have, so why not use it for good?
It is a God-given ability that you have for sure. So I'm Paul C. Tarina.
Yes,
this is my lovely co-host, Sonia Jackson, the animated, amazing, impromptu Sonia Jackson, but she's also like 100% committed to everything that we teach and do.
Oh, 100%.
And actually, we were just talking about, and we're not going to take too much time, go off on too much of a tangent, but we're just talking about Thanksgiving and how those of us that are committed, like it's possible to do any holiday, any situation, and eat the right things, made with the right ingredients, and you feel amazing afterwards. And
I
it's
am
great,
so committed to just that, feeling amazing. And if I go off once, I know 1, it's in my mind, and 2, it's in my belly, and it's not feeling good. So I just want to feel amazing. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to go over our bios.
Yes.
And do a little bit of cover our mission and foundations and what makes us different.
Yes.
And then a little bit of why I feel like I'm doing this as an individual, kind of heading up this whole thing. And we feel like this is really good for everyone, whether you are a veteran SHT member. By the way, the reason that we're doing this podcast is so that we can be in the ears of the people that we care about and that we work with, so that we can have this ongoing flow of information so that you have something to support yourself and review and keep you motivated and up to date on current information. But we also know that other people are probably going to listen to this.
Oh, yeah.
And we welcome anyone and everyone. So whether you're a veteran, a newbie, SHT, or you've never been here before, we think this is going to be a really valuable episode to start with.
I agree.
So,
if we meet you 5 years down the road, we are also talking to you.
that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, who knows when people will be listening to this.
Oh, exactly.
All right. So since you're my co-host, tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, I'll go first.
How you got here, because I don't think I've heard this whole story. I just remember meeting you all bubbly out in the hallway.
Always been a bubbly individual, always been animated, but I just felt like I haven't internally matched that ever in my life up until this point, and been very confident with it.
What do you mean by internally matched it?
Like I said, externally, very happy, very bubbly, very animated, like you said, but internally, always very shy about it.
Oh.
Always mentally like, hey, Sonia, you should take it down a notch. People don't get you. And, I've never owned it. So going through this whole process and meeting Paul and SHT and everything, it's owned that. I've owned it, and I love it. I'm finally me. I'm matching myself, which is phenomenal. But I guess I'll take it back to childhood. I mean, we've all gone through the, a lot of us have gone through that. I've been the overweight child my whole life, even in my family. My brother's like 6'2", 160 wet. Like, very skinny. My mom's like 5'4", 100 pounds at most. Dad is also very short, skinny. But I was the overweight one. In the 6th grade, I was 170 pounds. Like, I was a very chunky child. And society always tells you, as a female being that young, it's like you should be skinny, pretty, do all of these silly little things. My generation grew up with the supermodels, and it was ridiculous. So
it's really sad. The focus is the look and not anything about the health or the feel.
Exactly. And even some of the supermodels might be super depressed because they can't eat, But anywho, I tried everything, whether that was paleo, Atkins. I was vegan for 6 months in college. I did HCG hormones.
Wow, you did HCG.
Yeah, injections actually. It wasn't the drops. It was just
you never told me that.
The shots. So it wasn't fun. I was restricted to like 600 calories a day for about 3 months. Yes, I lost weight, of course.
That's so natural. 600 calories a day.
It was nothing I could sustain. I did everything, and everything I tried kept me at a healthy, quote unquote, weight. For a doctor, whatever, my BMI was healthy once I lost the 20 pounds every time I did something. And then I could sustain it for about 3 months, and I would be absolutely sick of it because everyone around me would eat whatever they want. Everyone around me looked different. I was just, sick of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to bother.
Which is the story for everyone trying any kind of diet. They do it
exactly.
for a little bit, see some kind of, like any kind of diet's going to give you temporary results.
Oh, yeah.
And then they fall off.
For sure. It was never a lifestyle. It was definitely a diet. So I was just sick of it. I graduated college in May of 2016, moved back to Las Vegas, so my home, where we are. And then a year into moving back home, I was just lost. I had this very lost feeling, very confused, didn't know what to do, how to improve myself, what people I should meet. And I love this, co-hosting, acting, all of that stuff I'm very passionate about. So I went to Jody Rail. She's right next door to you in this office, a photographer here in Las Vegas, and she was one of my old high school teachers. And I reconnected with her and saw her because I wanted new headshots for the acting and all of that. And I just said, you look like you're 100 pounds lighter. This is nuts. Like, what did you do? Why do you... Not only did she look lighter, she just... It felt like she had this emotional weight off her shoulders. She seemed so bright, bubbly, happy. Like, she was just so passionate about how she transformed. And I was like, okay, I need to do that. How? And so she just literally marched me down the hallway right to this room. And
that's when I remember meeting you for the first time.
And I met you for the first time. And I went to your very first meeting, and I just saw the passion you had for this and for your community. And it wasn't a fad diet. It wasn't anything. You just spoke from the heart. And I said, that's the person I want to connect with, is somebody who's real, who speaks from the heart, and who is committed to community. And I was sold. Yeah. In a heartbeat.
And the information made sense. So
it really did.
Up to me afterwards and saying something about that. But,
yeah.
I remember meeting you out in the hallway, and you were just like, I am ready. Just like, do it to me. And you joined CrossFit, and you did, the SHT program all at once, and then, here you are today. You look amazing. Like, you look so vibrant and healthy. I meant to say that the other day, or maybe I did when you came walking in. I was watching you because I get to watch everybody walking in here, and I was just like, you look so great. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And it just 2 years later, almost 2 years, and
I can't believe it's been that long.
And I'm still here, and I won't ever leave. So you're stuck with me.
Wow. Can't believe it's already been 2 years. That's crazy.
So, what about you? What started this journey for you? Because we all dive into this program, and we all dive into you and this community and getting into it. But I believe a lot of us don't know where you came from, where your background is. How did you start in this journey?
All right, how much time we got? Because I can talk for hours about this.
Maybe like 30 minutes, Paul.
I've tried to modify my mind. What do I want to share? But like, if this is the first time I was hearing this, like, I want to make sure that I cover what I feel like is important, how we actually got to where this is, because I feel like that's really important. That what makes up not just our nutrition, all our other foundations is based on a lot of stuff. It's based on a lot of stuff. So. I've said this in some of my group meetings before, but I'm just going to go through my little story. When I was a kid, I remember being extremely happy. Like and I say kid, I mean just like a really little kid. I remember being really happy, always raising my hand, always volunteering for stuff, and I just really remember having good memories. My parents were together. My dad was in the Army. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. And I just remember really good, happy memories as a kid, you know. And I wore clothes that did not match, didn't care, you know, like was just like the stereotypical, you know, kid that's just like, you know, just doesn't care about anything but having fun and being happy and being curious and all that kind of stuff. And then I moved. My parents divorced when I was in the 4th grade. And I moved to Mississippi with my mother, and she became a single parent mother with 3 kids. And had to find a job, and we transitioned to being these latch door, I think it's called latch door key or latch key kids or something like that. So we'd come home after school, let ourselves in, and I just remember everything changed for me. Like I was not happy. I cared more about fitting in and wearing the right clothes than I did anything else. I got involved with the wrong kids, ended up drinking, smoking pot, and just doing things that you have no business doing at that age. My grades stayed, you know, A's and B's, but I just stopped being the guy that raised his hand all the time and being really participatory, and slept in class all the time and just went down the wrong path, you know. And I remember like I had, you know, fleeting glimpses of like some happiness here and there, but like for the most part, like it was a very different story from when I was a kid. And this is me piecing this together as I'm older now, you know. And then fast forward to like my mid-30s. And I just had this compounding effect of doing the wrong thing, but not knowing I was doing the wrong thing. So my entire life, like I was in the military, I enlisted in the Army right out of high school. I was enlisted for 2 years, and then went to the military academy at West Point for 4 years, then was commissioned for a few years. And so my entire life I've been into fitness and trying to eat the right thing and do the right thing. But so by my mid-30s, I was following what looked like a bodybuilder kind of diet, you know, eating every 2 or 3 hours and doing low fat and egg whites and salads and chicken breast and rice and broccoli and protein powders and shakes and bars. And I went in for my first checkup since being out of the military, and I was devastated because I had extremely high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic, so I was on high blood pressure meds, metformin. I was on a statin for my lipid numbers. I remember taking Claritin or some allergy medication most days for allergies. I remember having heartburn and acid ingestion reflux so bad that I was taking Zantac almost every day.
Oh my goodness.
And was just miserable, you know. And I was also devastated because I felt like up to that point I was doing everything that I was supposed to do to be healthy. And obviously it just wasn't working for me. So then there was like this perfect storm of events, and I don't think I've shared this with you like this before, but so at the time that I had that diagnosis, my girlfriend's mother was going through a cancer situation. My dad's late wife, who actually passed away from cancer treatment, she did not pass away from cancer, she passed away from cancer treatment, but she was going through a cancer situation. And then I had all my health issues, and it was like this perfect storm of like, okay, something is off about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I just happened to see this documentary on, I don't know where it was on. I don't even know if we had Netflix back then. I guess we did. But it was called The Gerson Miracle, and it was about the Gerson therapy. And Dr. Gerson had a plant-based, vegan-based alternative cancer therapy that like just did so many great things. His daughter Charlotte Gerson championed his program and moved it forward, and so I saw this documentary and I really got sucked into not necessarily just the vegan piece of it, but really this real food piece of health and managing all the different chronic degenerative diseases that we have going on today using diet, but of course the documentary, since it was about the Gerson Miracle, was about vegan and plant-based stuff. So at that point I felt like, okay, meat and fat are the problem. That's where I've been going wrong, even though I was doing low fat and protein powders and stuff. And so I went plant-based, and I remember my dad got so pissed off because we would go out to steak dinners and stuff, and he's like, "You are not going to eat this." Or we'd have free dinners at these credit union board of director meetings and stuff. And but yeah, I was really proud of myself. I remember sending little emails to my family like, "This is how you combine your grains and legumes to get certain amino acid profiles. So if y'all want to join me in this plant-based thing, this is how you get all your amino acids." Yeah. And I had all kinds of little emails I would send out to everybody. So initially I lost weight, felt great, and then about a year and a half into it, like I started to derail. Like I had massive digestive issues again. I lost all my muscle mass. I was really tired. And so something wasn't clicking again. I was like, dang, I thought I was doing everything right. I'm really knowledgeable about this. So at the time, I was really into this this guy. His name was Erwin LaCour. Tell me if I'm talking too much.
No, you're
Tell
okay.
me if you gotta cut me off.
This is a good history.
All right, so I was into this guy. His name was Erwin LaCour, and he had a company called MoveNat, which stood for Move Natural. And he was this dude that had these YouTube videos running out in the woods barefoot, climbing mountains, climbing trees, carrying rocks and logs and swimming and just like all this natural movement stuff. So MovNat stands for Move Natural. And I was just fascinated by the dude. That's when I started going barefoot.
Yeah.
And then one time they had this article about like they had hired this guy to come in and do their nutrition stuff, and his name was Rob Wolf.
Oh, okay.
So Rob Wolf, and Rob Wolf, by the way, is one of the champions of the paleo diet and wrote the Paleo Solution years ago, but at the time hadn't written a book or anything. He was kind of under the tutelage of Dr. Lauren Cordain. But anyway, they had this article, and it made so much sense to me because they talked about the way they were eating, mimicking their ancestors, evolutionary biology, anthropology, and some things that I've always been fascinated with, dinosaurs and archaeology and stuff. I was like, okay, this makes sense. And so I tried to find everything I could on whatever they were talking about. I don't even know what they called it at the time. And I found some scientific papers written by Boyd Eaton, Art Devaney, Lauren Cordain about Western disease, diet, civilization, and the difference between that and what our ancestors used to do. And that just all made sense to me. So then at that point, I started to reintroduce meats. And I stumbled across, so Rob Wolf wrote his book, I read his book, the Weston A. Price Foundation popped up on my radar, which we'll talk about at some point down the road, and fell in love with the Weston A. Price Foundation. And my health just dramatically changed. And then I started to like force this stuff on my friends and family members, and they started to see change. And I was like, you know what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna make a living out of this. Yeah. And at the time, I was doing insurance sales, which I was so miserable and unhappy with it. But I was successful. You know, I had years of making a pretty decent amount of money, and years where I just had a really hard time. But at the time, I was like, I'm gonna make a career out of this, and I don't care what it takes. And so the Nutritional Therapy Association was the only thing that I could find that had slightly aligned with what I thought was the right information. I got on a conference call with them and found out that they had this distance course here in Las Vegas. And so I gave away all my insurance accounts, burned my bridges, came here to Las Vegas, and my best friend's father had a vacation home here, and I came and stayed in his vacation home and couldn't afford to pay rent, could barely afford to pay for utilities, my groceries. And I don't know if I said this to you. I remember saying this here recently to some people. Maybe it was at the Ambassador Astor meeting. But can you imagine, like, I didn't know anybody here. I came here and I was not on Facebook. There wasn't Instagram. Knew nobody and was trying to build this thing from nothing with no money and no contacts. And the only thing that I knew to do was using like my marketing skills, you know, was to go out and just knock on doors and put posters up on telephone poles. And slowly but surely, I got my way into different things. You know, I ended up building a relationship with Whole Foods and different mind, body, spirit centers here. And I started to like just figure out how to do little talks. I do little mini talks in my garage and coffee shops and things like that. And I stumbled across Omar from what is now CrossFit Social City, but it used to be Camp Fit Force. And so the reason I found his because MovNat had a workshop here, and we went to this workshop, and I met Omar, and I was like, hey man, you know, can we do some nutrition talks? I'm starting up my nutrition business, and he was all for it. That's awesome. And then so I felt like to work with him and his people, I needed to do CrossFit with his team. Yeah. And that's how I met Colby. So I came in, Colby was his coach, and me and Colby started to develop a friendship. And then the rest is history as far as that goes.
You have never told me that chunk of your story.
So me and Colby coached me, and then Colby wanted me to work with Yessie because he's like, man, my wife needs help with nutrition. She just went through this surgery, and you know, she's having a hard time. And he's like, if you work with her on nutrition, since you suck so bad at CrossFit, I'll work with you on CrossFit in my garage. And that was some of the best times of my life. Like I would go to his house every morning, and he would open the garage door to his house, and we would go in there. He had a pull-up bar and rig and all this stuff, and we would just like do these brutal home workouts. And we cultivated a friendship, and then we talked about like, you know, he's like, I'm going to open a CrossFit gym. I was like, dude, if you do that, I'm going to open my business right there with you, and we're going to do this joint concept.
That is amazing.
And then here we are today, and we've got all that stuff going on. So and then what happened is, you know, because I'm just this way, I get into something and I become a self-proclaimed expert at it, and then I get into something else, I do the same thing. So as time went on, I would work with my nutrition clients, and I started to figure out how to cultivate more clients and do talks at Whole Foods and these other places, and I started to cultivate a little bit of a something going on here. And of course, when I was working with clients, like things would come up, like, you know, sleep patterns would be off or stress levels or something. So So that's how we started to get into our other foundations, because I'm like, you know what? Like, I need to be teaching them how to do this.
Yeah.
And I need to be teaching them how to sleep. And I need to be teaching them how to meditate. I need to be teaching them about the importance of outdoors. And as I learned it myself, I would do it. I would experiment on my clients, and they would do it. We'd get feedback. And over time, we started to hone this really cool methodology. And that's what this is about,
amazing.
you know? Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, and then I had this realization here recently that when I was a kid and I was happy, my mother was a stay-at-home mom and cooked home-prepared foods. When my parents divorced and I went to Mississippi, I was eating cereal, Pop-Tarts, Hot Pockets, school lunches, TV dinners, and I can't help but realize that a big part of why I was not happy, was so concerned about things that didn't matter, is because I was toxic as hell. And now I found the gift of health in life, and I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. And it's just like,
awesome.
it's the best feeling in the world. And what I want to say with all that is that this is about being happy. What the hell are we doing all this for? What are we trying to figure out how to eat right and all this stuff? Because we want to be happy. We want to feel comfortable in our own bodies. And everything that you're looking for, whether it's finding the perfect job, the perfect career, the perfect mate, being happy with the way that you feel in your body, it all starts with health.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about. So that's my story and how we got here.
I could not agree with that more. Okay, so...
And that's our focus. You know, when we talk to people, this is not a weight loss program.
No.
This is not
no.
a drink a shake and get into a bikini or a thong in freaking 8 weeks. You know, this is about long-term health, longevity, quality of life, and doing it the right way with something that's livable and sustainable.
Yeah, and if you're somebody who comes into this thinking, and I am a model for this. If you're somebody coming into this thinking, hey, this is for my looks and my weight loss, cool, join us. Let's show you that, and then let's show you more. If that's your entry into it,
if that's your entry into it,
let's do this, and then let's show you more.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just...
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Anything that will get you in here to work with us. But we are pretty clear when people come in here, like, that's not what we're about.
It's not a quick fix.
But that does happen.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you know, everyone transforms when they go through this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And you'll walk away just happier.
Yep.
Just
and feeling
happier.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've found what you've been looking for your entire life. That's what's going to happen when you come into this.
It's a mind blowing.
We talk about it all the time. It's awesome. So let's cover our mission statement and our foundations.
Yes, let's cover that so that when past superhumans, present and future, can go back to this and listen to them and just kind of get their mind back in balance if they ever fall off. So take us through all of those.
Okay, so the future episodes will go into detail about our foundations. But our mission statement is we are on a mission to empower the planet with the freedom that comes from understanding, implementing, and experiencing what we call our foundations for health. And when we say freedom, we mean freedom to experience life as we were meant to live, with energy, vibrancy, clarity, purpose, and with the ability to dream again. And when I say dream, I'm not talking about sleep dreams. I'm talking about dream about like, what the heck do I want to do with my life now that I feel so freaking amazing?
Yes.
And our tagline is rediscover how we were meant to live.
Yes.
So our foundations are obviously a huge component of it's going to be what we call holistic real food. I don't know what the hell else to call it.
It's giant. Yeah. That is a huge portion of it.
And real food encompasses all the popular methodologies that work.
For sure.
I'm GAP certified, gut and psychology syndrome. Awesome. Of course, been through the NTA's programs. And then also we're experts at paleo, low carb, ketogenic, vegan. Like, we got hints of all that stuff into what we do. When it comes to sleep, we are experts at setting circadian rhythms. That's another foundation, and we talk at length about that in a lot of our programs, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on the podcast. But circadian rhythms is basically aligning your biological rhythms with the rotation of the earth and the rising and setting of the sun, which gives you proper hormonal balance and energy levels and body composition and blood sugar handling and anything and everything that you could possibly look for.
Sleep alone is a game changer as well.
Absolutely. I would say it's like the biggest, I can go 3 to 5 days without eating food. I can't go 3 to 5 days without sleeping.
Nope.
You die, So sleep is extremely important. Meditation and mindfulness are so important, but it's not something that we really try to address or talk about until people have gotten clean and vibrant.
Yes.
But meditation is my little baby, and just like everything else that we do, we teach it in our own way that makes sense. It's livable, doable in a modern lifestyle. Grounding and outdoors. So grounding, you know what grounding is, right?
Yes. Oh, it's so important to get your shoes off and stick your feet in the dirt. Stick your hands in the dirt, in the grass.
Connect with Mother Earth.
Connecting with
have
the
that
earth.
connection.
Yep.
There's measurable physiological benefits that come from grounding, and also just being out in nature.
Yeah.
And again, we'll talk at length about that at some point down the road. Natural movement. So, of course, we are fans of the CrossFit Combine, which we're here. If you come to Las Vegas,
Yes.
if you're in Las Vegas, you got to come see us at the CrossFit Combine, because my best friend Colby Phillips owns it, and we are here together empowering people like from inside out and everywhere in between, and it's just the greatest experience in the world to come here and work out here. So
don't be nervous, don't get scared. I am not an athlete, but
she is now.
I am now.
Yeah.
But I was never. So and I'm absolutely in love with it.
Yeah.
So yes.
So natural movement, we'd say any way you can get it, but ideally it's functional.
Yes.
It makes you capable, generally prepared, and we love CrossFit, especially
Yes.
here at the CrossFit Combine.
Yes.
So simplicity and elegance is a foundation, and you can think also maybe minimalism. And I'm not talking about strict minimalism where you try to become a hermit and you have nothing. What we're saying is simplicity and elegance and minimizing your life so that you can enjoy the things that matter. That's what that part of our foundations is about, and we're really excited to teach that, especially this upcoming year. We're big advocates for having natural solutions for the home.
Yes.
And what we mean by that is having alternatives to over-the-counter medications, alternatives to home cleaning products that could be really toxic, things that are a little bit more natural and holistic that aren't so toxic.
Yes.
And we're big fans of advocating those types of things. And then finally, we acknowledge the importance of community and social connection. So, and then our hashtag, I don't know what you call it, empower the planet.
Empower the planet.
And it's going to happen now, because like years ago I came up with that hashtag and I was like, oh, it's kind of crazy, lofty, like I'm talking to 3 people here at Tipsy Coffee, but now it's like it's happening. Like, we've worked with over 2,000 people in our group progressions, hundreds of people come through this office, and it's just going to keep getting bigger and better.
It is.
It really is. Yeah.
So with all of that being said, and we've listed, our foundations, all of that, what would you say to somebody who is not within the community, who is like, okay, this is just another fad diet. Like, why would I want to join you? What makes us different is the question.
Yeah.
What makes us different?
Why listen to us?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a really good question. So help me out here, because you can help me elaborate on some of this stuff.
Deal.
So, number one of the big things that makes us different, we've already touched on this, is that the SHT subscribes to many things, but is a member of none of them, because we are our own way. And what I mean by that is, it just drives me nuts that people get pigeonholed into these narrow, dogmatic methodologies, and they have blinders on and they don't see the bigger picture.
Yes.
So we could take food as an example. With food, like, we are experts at all the popular real food methodologies, including paleo, primal, low carb, ketogenic, vegan, and anything else that's out there. And what we do is we learn from the things that work about those and pull it together into this summary of, we want people to understand the bigger picture when it comes to real food and all our other foundations. So most people are overwhelmed, misinformed with information, don't know what to follow, and so we bring clarity to the confusion by simplifying concepts and helping people understand what works about all these different things, so that you don't get sucked into a fad thing anymore.
Exactly.
Because this is the way to do it. This is all of our foundations at its best, real food at its best, and we want what's optimal versus what seems to work. And so what I mean by that is, I could go vegan for a little bit and it might work better. I could do HGC or a protein shake program for a little bit and I might get a little bit better because I got away from all the junk. But we want what's optimal. And so what we do is we take the principles from all these different things that we learn and bring it into something that's optimal, and we help people understand why we're doing it. The SHT is an educational system, but also we give you experience and we give you support.
Yes.
So
I agree. And with being optimal comes longevity, is the goal. We are not looking for part-time fad diets. We are looking for a lifelong, sustainable lifestyle.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because another thing that makes us different is it's a way of life for a lifetime. And
I love that.
Everyone that goes to this program says, this is doable. I can do this. I can stick to this. I can maintain it.
I am not neurotic about it. I am not counting anything. I am doing this for a lifetime.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'd say that's something that makes us very, very different from a lot of those, kind of fad, temporary, quick fix things.
Yeah. So with, you said earlier that this is taking it back to the ancestral knowledge, and with all of that, what makes that ancestral knowledge come into this modern day and age? Like, what, in a sense, makes that different?
Do you do this professionally?
Now I am.
So another thing that makes us different is I feel like we are the best combination of ancestral health movement plus being hip and modern.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what I mean by that is we are always up to date on cutting edge information. Part of my responsibility and our team's responsibility is always being in the scientific literature, always reading books, always listening to podcasts, always following the thought leaders in functional medicine and holistic health, and combining that with the guidelines that we come up with from ancestral health.
Yeah.
And so it's the perfect combination of being ancestral and freaking really cool.
Yeah. I just saw your article you posted today. What was it? The sweet potato and the maple syrup is a great combination.
Synergy of nutrients.
Yes. I saw that today.
Yeah.
So it's always coming out with the scientific knowledge backed up with ancestral wisdom.
Or having a combination of those things somehow. You know,
exactly.
like it's like because there's some things that our ancestors didn't do that we can do now that is healthy.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
But it's like we have to take everything into account, you know. So yeah.
I agree. So I mentioned earlier that what made me really jump into this is one, the community, and two, it came from the heart. You were real. You were a human being speaking from the heart in your former experience and what you've learned. So what in the love and community and heart aspect makes this different?
Well, I mean, this shit's from the heart.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, we are here to help and to heal, and we've been through our own journeys and stories that we've already, kind of gone through, and that's identical to everyone else that's trying to figure this stuff out. And so we just want to help people. And I don't care how big we get, how much money we make, everything and anything that comes into this thing that we're building is going back into helping the people that we're working with, because we want to help. And if I inherited the like billions of dollars, I would do exactly what we're doing right now, except I would, make better production value out of it and everything, But we are here to do everything that we can to further someone along their path. And of course, like you said, you see it at any time that you work with us or come to any of our situations or events. So, and on that, like, we are committed to a lifetime of support. So I've made a commitment years ago that when we work with people, one of our goals is to give you a lifetime of support in the form of constant content and just thinking about what we can do to make the community aspect of this better. Whether you're here locally in Vegas or you're online, we are always thinking about what can we do to support the people that we've worked with, so that we're not just educating you, giving you a plan, and then we don't see you again, or you don't hear from us for a long time or something like that.
Exactly. So, through different avenues. I mean, whether that's social media, whether that's just a text or a phone call to you, we're always there. Yeah. So no matter what, if some new sugar alternative comes out, call us. Like, if you're confused, text us, social media, whatever you need, Facebook group.
Message us. I mean, we are just like, we have an open door, open message, open whatever policy. And we're not one of these organizations that nickel and dimes people just to come and get some advice or help. I can't even, how many times do I sit here and visit with people or have a consultation for someone that needs help, and most people are like, charged by the minute. We're just like, hey, just come and get involved with us and let us help you.
So with all of that being said, that's a huge why. But tell us why else you're doing this. For the community, for the heart, but what makes you want to do this?
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. All right, so all right, so. To finish this whole thing up, the reason that I am doing this, and now I need to say we are doing this.
Yes, we are doing this.
We are doing this, but the reason that I, as an individual, am doing this is because I feel like it's my responsibility. Because at this point in time, and this may change in the future, I'm open to the infinity of possibilities that are out there, but I am single, I don't have kids, I don't pay alimony, have any
child
support or any of that kind of stuff. I have a very simple life. I can get up when I need to, which I usually get up at 3:30 in the morning. I can work out when I need to. I can meditate. I can get sun. I can go to bed when I need to. I have the time to prepare my foods. I mean, I'm extremely busy trying to build this this thing that we're building from nothing. I mean, it's extremely challenging, but I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. But the reason I'm doing this is because I can. I have a lifestyle that facilitates me being the example for others to follow. And at the same time, I'm a real person that has real fun, and I'm a goof, but I have a big heart, and I live every bit of everything that I teach. Like, I am the walking example of everything that we put out there. And at the same time, I'm a real person, and I feel like it's my responsibility to do this because I can, and I want to show you what is possible.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you can obtain this because you don't have the same life situation that I do, but maybe your goal is to move in this direction and try to get better because better is better. You know? So that's why I'm doing this.
I agree. And to wrap that up, you know, I heard this quote. It's awesome. Knowledge is a curse and a blessing. And you have the choice. It's in your hands. You gained all of this knowledge and you're using it as a blessing and a gift instead of a curse. So which we love and thank you. Yeah, that is wonderful.
Yeah. Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing
here?
this? Okay.
Why did you volunteer your time to be here with us?
Oh my gosh. I also gained this knowledge through you, and I see when I am not in this community, when I am not at the CrossFit Combine, when I am not here with the SHT community, and I am out doing my normal, you know, job that pays my bills, I see so many sick humans, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, and so many broken homes and this helped me tremendously. So with the knowledge I've been given and the experience I've been put through, why the heck not share it? Yeah. You know, and I have a gift of a voice and a personality, so why not do this with you, you know, and put some work into it. So, yeah. I'm
so glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Perfect
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
For real.
All right. So I think that wraps up our first
episode. Episode 1,
Episode 1 or 00, whatever you call it.
Yes.
So, and then next time we get together, I think we want to cover things about our foundations and whatever ideas we have about what we feel like is important for these first few episodes. So thank you so much for being here.
Love you.
Yeah, and thank you all so much for listening.
Yes.
And we will see you here soon.
Yes. Have a fabulous day.
Yeah.